All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to a non-deconversion story because my guest, I've been messaging him for a couple of days with no avail. I haven't gotten a reply yet, so I'm assuming something came up that made it so he wasn't able to join us. And yes, Duke, of course you can get in. Just message me on Twitter so that I don't have to go searching for the last message I sent you, which is probably way the fuck down. So give me a quick, hey, how's it going? And then I'll send you a link and you can join us, of course. I miss you, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. Anyway, so tonight I just figured, fuck it, we'll just do a random stream because I was just on for a couple and a half hours with Chris Mallard, who does the Daily Atheist morning show, and Andy Hall, who's an atheist comedian who does the Laughing in Disbelief. And we also had, and of course, the name fell out of my head just like that. We also actually, that was it. We were supposed to have Seamus in there with us, who does the nonprofit, or not the nonprofit, the profit show, or whatever the fuck it's called. Anyway, you'll figure it out. But I just kind of reached out to a bunch of people and said, hey, anyone want to join me? And of course, my very good friend Gigglez Cranium has joined us, and Diogenes of Mayberry has joined us, and the artist extraordinaire Easism Works has joined us as well. I also have room for more people, so I will send links if anyone would like to join. As you know now that I actually pay for StreamYards, I can have up to 10 people in this video. So, yes, Ian, you found us. Yes, of course, you can get a link, Zach. I'm going to send out some links. Just give me a hello message on Twitter, and I'll have you guys join us as the night goes on. So we'll do that now. All right. Duke says if there's room, shoot us a link. Of course, there's room. There's your link. I haven't talked to Duke in forever, but mind you, what he does for a living, it's not surprising because he works in the medical industry, and with this whole COVID thing, it's not surprising that he's busier than a beaver in a forest, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Anywho, but God's Cranium, dude, you're looking into buying a new house, and of course, you got that what is it? The link out there, the GoFundMe, to kind of help you get some shit going, which is awesome. And just by the pictures alone, it looks like there's a huge potential for that place. And I swear, buddy, I'm going to come out there, and we're going to, like you were saying, we'll have a few beers around the fire, and that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
We'll have more than a few, I think.
He knows me. He knows me well. Yeah, for sure. Sure.
I might have a few because I barely drink, so a few is enough. A few is enough to knock me on my ass usually. So.
Well, I'm a bad influence, so it might get out of control. Especially if I bring gummy bears with me.
Well, you and my fiance can definitely have a few drinks. She likes to have some wine and stuff. So.
But yeah, great. Awesome. Hi, Jen.
But yeah, it's a pretty great. It's a very old house. Like I think it was built in 1900. So.
Wow.
But, yeah. So that's it. When you go in, it's kind of like going into an antique store. but it's what we can afford. But that's
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The yard is. It sits on a half an acre of land, so the yard is pretty much all of the half an acre. So, it's sweet. Yeah, it's definitely pretty big. Big enough for we're going to have a fire pit. Hopefully, we're looking at building a dog pen. And any of the money that gets raised in GoFundMe will help with all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely we need to get a dog. So we're putting on some of the renovation costs onto the mortgage. So, of course, like any GoFundMe money is definitely appreciated because it helps us not have to borrow as much or moving costs and putting up some of the stuff that you can't put on a mortgage. Like you can't put, like, say, the dog pen on a mortgage because it's you can take it with you, so it's not the bank doesn't want to fund that, right?
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely, we're pretty excited. I think I'm a little more excited because I've always wanted to live out in the country, right. And my entire life I've always lived in cities, so it'll be something different, kind of cool.
Well, there's a little bit of this. Hi, Sassy. I was just actually on Sassy's stream earlier after I did the drinking out loud with Andy and Chris. But GC, there's a reason why this had to happen. Because I think you were getting evicted from the place you live in because the owners were going to move in or something like that. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah. So what happened is so we've been living at a house that we rent for the last 4 years, and the owners decided that they were going to sell it. They didn't bother telling us, but then when people came through, we asked the realtor, like, hey, does this mean that we're going to have to move? And the realtor said, no, we're only showing it to investors. So they're wanting to keep the tenants. So it's not going to affect you in any way. We just need you to open up your home to go look for the people to look at it or whatever. So, so we said, okay. And then, the end of this or the beginning of this month, they gave us a 60-day notice, and that the realtor just dropped it off. And then we were like, I thought, like, shit, like now we don't have a place to live. And it's also like in the middle of COVID, obviously. And so like rentals that are out there are like 50% higher than what we pay here now. And on top of that, they're very sparse, right? Because people aren't moving in the middle of a pandemic. But on the flip side, the housing market is actually much more expensive. Like I showed on Twitter, one house that was listed at $250,000, which is like pretty much the minimum of what you can pay and still get something kind of decent that you don't need to renovate. Yeah. It was sold for $355,000. So like, like that's huge. Like before COVID, that would never happen. And we bid on one house. We bid, I think it was 30,000 over top of the asking price, and we didn't get the house. So it's a crazy market. Yeah. So the only thing we could do is try to get a place that's kind of like out of the city and that people really don't want to go to, but we still need it to be close enough that we can go to work. So this place is it's about half an hour, 45 minutes away from work. So it's a bit of a drive, but it's not like completely terrible.
I'm not giving up my 15-minute commute to work. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, like right now, I can get in my car like 15 minutes before work and get to my client's house. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be like, and that's with getting a coffee on the way. So I mean, like that's not normal. It's not going to be a thing now.
Well, dude, I hope you get this place. And I'd like to ask some of my mods in the chat right now. If you go to my Twitter thread somewhere, you'll see my mention of Godless Cranium's plight here for the GoFundMe. If you could post that in the chat, any and all, even if it's $5, $10, $15 that you can spare to put towards this, it all helps. And it's going to help one of my favorite humans on the planet get a better place to live. So that would be amazing if you could do that.
And thank you very much for your donation as well, Neil. I noticed it.
You guys got to beat my $50 donation, you bastards.
But we'll definitely get it. Like our offer has been accepted. It's just a matter of it's just a matter of like we got it pre-approved, so the financing shouldn't be an issue. It's just we made it conditional on a home inspection because I can't see within the walls and I can't see the roof from the ground and stuff like that. So I don't know what else needs to be fixed. But if it's like the roof, then we can manage that. But if it's like the electrical system throughout the house is damaged or the plumbing is all damaged, then we can't afford to fix that. So it's just going to be like, no, we can't do
that's
it.
Big.
Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
But I'll tell you a little secret. If you're not in there by the wintertime and you get some snow, if you see snow on the roof covering the entire roof, the insulation is fantastic. If you see it missing and melting off the edge, then the insulation is not so good. This is a little trick from the restoration days of my workforce thing.
Yeah, it could be. It's so old that it could have asbestos in the walls as well. Like we can't tell, right? That definitely wouldn't be good.
It's kind of sad what's happening.
Possibly lead paint also, right?
Say that again, sorry.
Wait, Duke. I think Duke was saying something, and Pikachu was trying to say something at the same time.
Sorry,
so, Duke, since you were in here before, Pika, go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Oh no, I just said you said asbestos. Sorry about. I said it also could have lead paint.
That's true too.
Like underneath the layers of paint, you could have lead paint on the walls as well.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely look at that. Well,
Those
we're
are both things to
repainting.
check out.
Yeah, I'm gonna repaint it before we move in. If we accept whatever else, we're gonna go through and repaint everything. But you're right; it could have lead paint in behind the paint that's on there now. But
That's too bad, man. I used to do that for a living. If I lived in your area, I'd be over there helping you out, big time.
well, my sister offered, so she's gonna come down. We don't get the place until November 2nd if we get it. So we got a little bit of time, and then we're hoping that if everything goes well, we'll move. Like once the closing date is November 2nd, and we're going to send over any contractors that we need to fix whatever. And I'm going to probably take a week off and go over there and paint, and then probably move in for December 1st, since we talked to the owners of the place we're staying in now, and they said we got it in writing and texting anyways, that that they said it's fine if we take till December or whatever. So we'll probably max out that time. Yeah, that was well. It was basically like out of their hands because they tried to tell us when we met. They called us the next day because right after the realtor gave us the notice, my fiance called the tribunal, which is the court system that takes care of that kind of stuff. And they said, because of COVID, the tribunal's closed, and it's backed up from March when they shut everything down. So, but even if they opened it today, they would have to work their way from March till now, and so it could be 6 months to a year before it gets to you. And so you could just squat in the house and there's nothing they can't kick you out, right? And so I told the owners that, like, I texted the realtor and I said, well, we're gonna take it to court. Like, I know we'll lose, but we're gonna wait and we're gonna take it to court or whatever. And they know that, in the meantime, you wouldn't be if we just stop paying rent, there's not really nothing they could do about it. They can kick us out until they get the sheriff, which takes the tribunal, right? So so then all of a sudden the next day the owners called me and were like, hey, I think the realtor jumped the gun a little bit. How about we meet somewhere and talk and stuff? So we ended up meeting out in a park because of COVID. And they were like, hey, well, maybe we give you a little more time and stuff. But I think if COVID hadn't happened, that whole scenario wouldn't have happened. It would have just been like, you got 60 days, get out, right? So
yeah, for sure.
It's definitely not a cool situation.
Yeah, but you got to deal with it however you can, right? Sorry, go ahead, Pikachu.
Yeah. GC, I wish I could still support you, man. You're very good at some of the stuff you do, man. I remember back when I was supporting you on Patreon and so forth, and it was kind of fun doing that. But to see the situation that you're in now, man, it's terrifying, man. And to know that myself right now, like I have problems with funding and so forth, and I have to go through the situation with SSA and all that sort of crap, and the fact that I don't have a job and so forth because of disability and all the other bullshit. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's definitely terrifying. Thank you for your kind words and for supporting me on Patreon before. But yeah, I definitely don't want anybody to like put themselves out for me. And because as terrible as it seems
buy
from
a
my
shirt.
perspective. Yeah. Oh yeah. You can buy a shirt. As terrible as it is from my perspective, I know that there's a lot of people that are way worse off than me. And because me and my fiance are both essential workers, so unless we get COVID, our job is pretty much guaranteed at least. So at least we have like some kind of income coming in. We just didn't expect to have to pay more and then have to do a down payment and all that kind of stuff. We were working towards that, but we did have like some debts that we were trying to get rid of before we took that step, right? And this is just kind of like kicked us in the pants and said, do it now. So basically I was like, I don't know what to do. I hate asking for money. I hate asking people for help. So I was just like, I was gonna set up a GoFundMe and see what happens, right? Like, and people have been amazing. I mean,
you've done. I think
there's almost 5,000 raised. So there are a lot of generous people out there, definitely.
Yeah, you're in a good position, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've influenced and helped probably a lot of people with the content that you create, the way you talk about stuff on Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not surprising that people are going to jump to help you out, dude. So
I certainly didn't expect it. That's for sure.
what's your positions on your stuff with the neo-Nazi sort of stuff that you were working with Cirrus and all that?
Yeah, so I talked to Cirrus, I think maybe a week and a half ago, when he did the stream to help me out. Actually, he did a fundraising stream, and I talked to him just before that about it, and I said I was starting to make content again, so I wanted to pick up on that, and he's agreeable with that. But we just haven't worked out a time when we want to like actually start on that. But I already have all the research. The next one I was going to make was on America First. And I still have all the research done for that. I just haven't gotten around to like making a video about it. So,
yeah, no, because I found like they actually took down one of your videos on that. So they took down a bunch of stuff on that you posted on some of that stuff. I think it was.
Well, they limited one of the first video that I made for that. They limited it. Yeah, so they made it that you have to click the thing that says like, I'm over 18 and all that kind of stuff. And actually that video, so a funny story about that video is I took like the introduction, which was like a bunch of basically Nazis talking, and I made like an intro out of it, but I wasn't sure if it was any good. So I sent it. So I uploaded it to YouTube, and I made it like private, and then I sent the link to somebody, and somehow like I got a strike for that. So the only strike I've ever gotten on my channel was for a video I didn't even release. I just uploaded it to YouTube. So yeah.
That's for sure. Pie Snake made a really good point. The community, it really is amazing. We will jump on board for causes as much as we possibly can.
Yeah,
definitely. I've helped many folks, and I'll never stop doing that because I want to see people, in better positions or better places, that kind of thing. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I remember. I think it was like maybe a year or two ago. I did. I plugged one of Lady Unicorn on Twitter. Yep. So she needed a house to move to, and she sent me pictures of her house, which was at the time it was atrocious, and so I plugged her GoFundMe on one of my videos, and she got I think close to $5,000 as well, and she got and I helped her get a house, but I never envisioned that I would be in the same position, right? So
fair enough, yeah. You know what? I consider myself lucky that I haven't had the need to do something like that yet. Anyways.
Yeah.
Until, of course, I drive the managers of my apartment building fucking nuts, and then they say get out, right? But there's a bit of a war going on because we actually have it in our leases here, or not leases, but rental agreements, that we can smoke in the suite if we want to, but we can't smoke in common grounds. But my roommate doesn't smoke, so I've always been going outside to have them, but I've always just been sitting on the benches out front. But apparently we can't do that anymore. So I got to sit across the street, and I bring out my little chair with me and my beer, and I sit out there and I have a couple of smokes. And they said, you make this place look bad. I'm like, fuck you, jackass. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, you'll be able to do that in my backyard.
I pay you to live here. I give you money.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's not them. It's Aragon Properties. They're just the management. Yeah, I was going to say, GC, you might have to put up with me for a couple of days on your couch if that happens.
We'll have a spare room, so you could always stay on the spare bed.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's no couching. There's no couching at my house. Only the best.
Only appreciate that because I might be in need, and I'll just hop a train or drive my car out that way. So
yeah, I'll just wake up in the morning and you'll be out there by the campfire, like,
hi, got any coffee with a little Bailey's in it or something?
Wherever I am, there's coffee. Believe me.
Hi, Tria. Tria Tails with us as well.
Oh, Tria, where?
Yeah, she's great.
Neil, do you think you can make it
here, Tria?
You think you can make it there all the way out there in your Prius?
My Prius. He's been on this kick that apparently I drive a Prius. It's actually a Ford Fusion and looks nothing at all like a Prius. But hey.
Wow.
Neil's the original king of the hill. What the hell does that even mean? But
it's a fucking Prius, dude.
Priuses are Toyotas. They're not even Ford.
You're a.
Well, you definitely won't want to come out there in the winter.
It's that's not your car, man. You took a picture of somebody else's car.
Easy to do in a parking lot.
There was something that me and Neil was
You're all like random car. This is my car.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh, I'm in LA, man. Yeah, okay. That's not surprising to hear the sirens.
I was
Nope, somebody froze.
I think it was.
Well, it may have been Pikachu or Duke.
I think it was Pikachu.
Oh, okay. You guys froze up, so whenever you get a chance to just say, "Hey, we're back." But is it Diogenes?
I don't know. Am I frozen?
Diogenes?
Diogenes.
Diogenes. See, I knew I was mispronouncing it.
Yeah.
Mind you, I have had a few today already. Of course, with the name of the stream I was in earlier called "Drinking Out Loud," that's not surprising. But
so actually discussing this with Neil in a private DM.
Oh, Pikachu, you're kind of fading out on us. Maybe F5.
Didn't have a problem. No, I wanted to get an opinion on something.
Sure.
I asked you about in a private DM on Twitter about trying to spread out to do more than just discussing. If you would be interested in doing more than just discussing, deconversion stories, and maybe since some of the community members have disabilities, maybe talking about people's journeys with their disabilities and so forth. And what do you think about doing that, Neil?
Well, did you see my reply to you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well, I said I think that's a great idea, but since I'm not, I personally don't have much expertise in that other than, my mom and having to deal with her and her bipolar and manic depression. I would need somebody that's more in the know of this kind of thing to be a co-host with me. I think it would still be a good idea.
Well, we can get Shannon Q to come on and possibly do co-host with that.
We could, but I was thinking you, dude. I think that might actually be good for you.
I'm not the best, but Shannon Q might be a more professional at doing it. So,
okay,
it might be a good idea to try.
I'm sure I could talk to her, but she's pretty busy as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be tough to get her on board with something like that.
Okay.
But yes, I think something like that would be it's important to talk about. Mental illness is not there's more people have mental illness than I think people realize.
Yeah.
And I think talking about something like that would be a really, really good idea.
Yeah.
Why am I not finding?
It's a good thing I'm so level-headed and sane.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do here. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but
Yeah.
I'm inviting more people into the chat. Is all I'm doing.
Well, my story with my mental illness is probably more detailed, I think, in a way, than probably my deconversion story, I think. But there's a lot of things you have to be careful with when dealing with it, because it involves some very, very triggering moments in it, I should say. So that's something you have to be careful with.
Sure. Oh, Sassy's heading out. Night, Sassy. It was good hanging out with you in your stream earlier for the short time that I did. I had a good time. BBA, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot.
I like all the Hot Wheels you got pinned to the wall behind you.
Yeah.
Are those the rare ones or what?
No, just random ones that I got at a store.
Oh, okay.
or at stores.
You got a buddy that collects rare ones, like the ones that they only did like maybe 200 run of them, like super special edition ones. And he figures he's into it since he's collected them, because you still only pay the Hot Wheel price, give or take, when you buy them new. And since he's collected them all, he figures he's got probably well over $35,000 to $40,000 worth of Hot Wheels that are the rare ones that only so many were produced.
Jeez.
Okay, so Pine Snake, you saw the link I sent you. Good. So we'll expect you soon. Tria, you're welcome to join us as well.
So wait a minute,
Yeah, go ahead.
Neil. Are you saying you don't have a Hot Wheel that you can reach across behind your back and grab and show to us? That's like the first time that's ever happened.
Everything's within reach. No, actually, for once, I don't have one handy. I've got lots of other things around me, but no Hot Wheels.
The only one he's got in reach is a Prius. So.
Touche.
They don't call it a Hot Wheel though.
No, it's more like a lukewarm wheel.
Yeah. Frigid
Like a road rage wheel.
Frigid wheel. I like that.
It's funny. I think it's funny because the Tesla is a Hot Wheel and the Prius isn't.
Teslas are actually fucking. I can't believe how many people in my neighborhood drive those things, those Teslas. And they're nice looking cars. I'll give them that. And I love the no door handle thing that they got going on there, which is really weird. Apparently, you have to hit a button to open the doors and shit. Like, is that one? What is that? A Prius?
No, a Tesla Model 3.
Oh, sweet.
No, they don't make Prius for
Hot Wheels. Yeah. Nobody wants a Prius.
Nobody would buy it.
No. You know that the electric car thing's funny to me, man. Because like for a few years, I worked as an in-home repair guy for appliances, and all the electronic boards they're putting on stuff nowadays are really, really fucking.
Like the Maytag guy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but for everything. But like people's like as you push these buttons.
Oh, there he goes. Yep. Fucking internet in Florida, I tell you.
On these things, it'll create pathways that be sitting in their house, and all of a sudden, am I out? Am I gone?
No, you're on. You're good now. Yeah.
Okay.
You're good now.
So people would I'd get called.
Oh.
And now he's out.
Calls. They'd be like, "Well, I was sitting in my living room."
You're just all over the place, dude.
Like a gator.
I know, right?
He's got a gator chewing on his internet. Tree is like, yeah, Florida internet does bite.
That's the same shit with me.
There's internet.
See you, Germania.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Verizon.
Am I back or am I still dropped out? So
Verizon.
So people would literally call me and say that they were sitting in their living room, and all of a sudden their oven had told them it was preheated to 350. They're like, I haven't been in my kitchen all morning.
Just out of
I'd
the
be like,
blue?
Did you call a priest? Yeah, because these things will.
Oh god.
I feel like we should all Twitter Duke after this and just start a sentence and then to put ... at the end and never finish the
Right. Tweet a load.
Don't slam the Gators.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's great.
She is a big Gator fan.
What, like the football team or?
No, the actual Gators.
Oh, actual Gators.
Yeah.
Okay, you say Gators, and I automatically think of the college football team, but that's all right.
Nah.
It's because you're
Sports
American.
ball. I'm not American.
You're American.
I'm in Vancouver, man. I'm not Portland or Washington or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh god. The Gators, football-wise, haven't been really that great of a football team.
No, they haven't.
I like whenever anybody has a question about Canada, they always tag me, you, Shannon, and Paul.
Right? And Rhino and Paula Gia.
Yeah.
Rhino, I'm still having a war. I
had a guy in the Eagles.
He'll come on the show, but it's like, dude, when?
Yeah. I wonder he would have more time now because he works in the restaurant industry, right? So you would think restaurants are closed down. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's got his
Some of them.
kids, right? So.
Oh yeah.
And I put a tweet out, putting him in this kind of a spotlight, a little limelight there, and he's like, "You're just trying to make me come on your show, aren't you?" I'm like, "Well, there may be some ulterior motives in there." But no, so I bought his T-shirt, the Vice Rhino, right? Because I love the logo, right? And it's great. And I'm a bit of a minimalist when it comes to T-shirts. Which is why I like the ones that are simple, like this. Yours with the GC, I think that's brilliant with the smoke coming off of it. And Rhino's just his picture of the Rhino with the Vice Rhino. It's pretty minimalistic, I think, and I dig that.
It's solid.
Yeah, and I think I should start producing merch myself, but I have no clue how to do that. So I'm dumb.
We'll talk, man. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Why? Who said that?
Me.
Ease. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you need help to get some merch together, I can definitely help you.
That'd be sweet, dude.
Yeah.
We'll definitely talk. Hey, Puck. We got room in here, Puck, if you want to join us. And Pine Snake said something about Randolph, but I don't see Randolph in there anywhere. Randolph is my partner in crime. He's also the president of Canadian Atheists. And I'm the community advocate now for Canadian Atheists. So. Woohoo!
Are you also part of that new atheist org that's just come up
that Courtney put together? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That looks like a solid org.
Yeah. She'll handle it much better than the idiots on the other one.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to become a member of that one actually, and then I got kicked out of my house.
Oh shit! No way.
I was like, I can't give away any money right now.
Dude, talk to Courtney. She'll let you sign up and then just pay for it whenever you can. I guarantee you.
Yeah, maybe.
But you get a cool card and everything.
Get an atheist card.
Yeah, just like that. There you go, guys. And she let her son make my card. So of course, the back side is upside down. So instead of doing it that way, I kind of got to go like this. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And I'm member number 33. Kind of how old I wish I was. But add 20 years to that, and that's about right.
That's how much I'll be in November.
33?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, you're just a kid.
Like he has any room to talk.
Hi, Maya.
Hey.
Neil's officially a card-carrying atheist. Yep. It's official now.
Yeah, why do you have to be card carrying to be an atheist, though?
You don't. It's just because I'm a member. That's all.
Yeah, but I'm just asking.
So Diogenes, I've been meaning to ask you this since we got going.
Card carrying member to be professional atheist.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Me?
Yeah.
I do, but it's only got a couple of things on it. I've been meaning to do a podcast. I've got a series of articles I wrote breaking down the various Bible stories, and I wanted to do it as a couple of YouTube shorts. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So
You should totally do it. Do you have a deconversion story at all?
I do, yeah. Well, not really. I just kind of faded away over time. Just one day.
I've had Cradle Atheists on before. We've also, like Rachel Oates has been on my show, and to mention a few others. And we've talked about religious influences in our lives as well, which is also kind of something that I'm quite interested in when I talk to people about, especially folks that live in areas where there are fundamentalist, type evangelical types, what like that is like. Right, like BBA here, who lives in that kind of an area. So if you're interested, I'd love to have you on the show as a guest at some point.
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, I lived in the Bible Belt. I spent 5 years working in Kansas City. I'm Canadian too, but I haven't lived there for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, sometime in my late 30s, I just woke up one day and realized I just didn't believe anymore. But it'd been kind of a slow progress. It
is. I mean, I kind of went through something similar. And and I sort of jumped around belief systems. I became pagan for a while. I was Wiccan for a while, and eventually I just sort of found my way through all the nonsensical stuff and decided, you know what? I don't really believe any of this stuff anymore. I'm going to officially call myself an atheist, but that didn't happen until I was in my 40s, literally. So, but yeah, I'd love to have you on. So I will definitely send you a message and we could set something up.
Sure. I'll just drop a note here.
Absolutely. Well, I'm booked pretty much until like late September, October. So just so you know, you might want to put it on your calendar, which I think tonight's guest forgot to do. So, which is why we're doing this now. But this has been is still being a lot of fun.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. As anyone that would like to come on definitely is able to do so. And we'll have some fun tonight, right? Oh, hang on. Somebody put something in the private chat. Going to bounce out. Oh, Duke, man, I didn't even get to ask you any fucking questions that could be. I don't even know where I'm going with that. Never mind. It happens. Ease, man, what are you doing up these days?
Oh, I actually doing much better. I'm bouncing back. I got lucky this week, and I picked up a little project. So I have a friend out back home in New York. She's a teacher, and she needed a layout done for her online classes, and they liked it so much. The school is going to hire me to take care of their layouts for their stuff. So I'm really excited about that. I get to do something for kids.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man, that was really, really cool. That just popped up. It just I decided to start networking again. I got in touch with some old friends, and they were like, "Hey, do this." I was like, "All right." Same way I do it for everybody else. It's just what I do. And,
are you still able to like type into the chat? Because I think you should drop a link to all your art and stuff like that. Because, dude, this stuff that you did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the van and the turtles, that's just fucking blows me away. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you. So all of that is in a gallery at the Graph Lab here in Los Angeles. All of that went to a show, and they are now in charge of selling all of that merchandise. So you can go to the graphlab.com here in Los Angeles.
The graph is in GRAPH?
GRAFF.
GRAFF lab.com?
Yeah, like graffiti. Graph Lab.
Oh, gotcha. Makes sense.
That's another that's a community center I work with, and they're also in a transition. They were going to shut down this year, but due to the COVID lockdown, they're going to extend it for another year because they want to expand. They just kind of want to make it bigger. But yeah, everything is posted there. My website is down, and if you do want to see me, I'm on Instagram. That's where I keep everything up to date at Easeism. It's just like, I'll put it in the...
At easeism.com, right?
No, this is just for Instagram.
Yeah,
that's where I'm up to date with everything.
Excellent.
Yeah, if you want to see like the work that I'm always doing, you'll find me on Instagram at Easeism. And that's where I'm constantly posting stuff that I'm pretty much working on.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you posted there in the chat.
And I'm just gonna dive in and just throw the website back up this weekend. I just need a couple of. I want to get this project finished and then get posted back up. I just gotta pay. I gotta pay GoDaddy. It's been rough,
dude. I mean, all I paid for was the shipping. I haven't even paid you for your talent yet on the artwork.
Oh,
and I know we were gonna talk about.
Yeah. Let's sort of get there because the damn thing's in UK.
I know. How the hell did that happen?
I have no idea.
That's like the weirdest thing ever. It's like, was this Coco's delivery service or something from the fucking?
Yeah, so
it's going all the way around the world.
Yeah, it went out. It was. Wait a minute. It went out the 12th. Hold on, let me look. I actually have it up because I'm tracking it. So I sent it out. Yeah, it went out the 10th. It sat in international. Well, the last place it was scanned is LA International on the 12th, and then it popped back up in the United Kingdom on the 20th, and that's there.
Weird.
Yeah, man. So
that's weird.
So yeah, let's wait for it to get there safely, and then we'll work it out. We'll figure something out. I do have my Teespring. Atheism works on Teespring. That is active, but I don't have the link handy. I have merch there. If somebody wants to help and support me, I'd appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I don't really have anything. I don't sell my art. If you guys need art, I'm more than happy to help. And if something leads to, payment.
Your stuff is so unique and cool too, which I totally dig.
So I do work with galleries, and I work with professional artists. I was taught to price my artwork a certain way because of the way I perform and my skill and the years of experience. If I was to just randomly throw it out there, you wouldn't be able to afford what I've been taught to price my artwork at. And I don't like doing that. In my whole life, it's been about graffiti and putting my art out there. And if you like it and you can't afford it, I'll give it to you. It's just, I thank you. It's fulfilling to me.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, your stuff is amazing, man. And as soon as I saw the piece that I bought, by the way, guys, has Cookie Monster in it. And of course, you see something like that and you immediately revert to being like 4 years old watching Sesame Street, right? So, and that's a memory that I have with my mom. I used to sit and watch with my mom watching Sesame Street. So I have to have that because it brings back those kinds of memories and feelings, right? Which I think is great. And that's what art should do, is invoke these kinds of feelings.
Right.
And that did for me. So I had to have that piece. So we'll talk, and whatever you want, like I could throw you like $150, $200 for that piece if you want to, because I think it's worth it.
Thank you. Yeah. Let it get there, look at it, and I'll let you, we'll work it out when it gets there.
Okay. Sounds like a fair deal to me. And I'll definitely be showing that on one of my shows for sure and promoting the shit out of you.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm just gonna say the hell with it and jump in the pool without looking and just get my website back up, regardless of what I gotta actually do to get it going.
I like the one of the fist clenching the spray can. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, that's a good one too.
That was my original T-shirt, but it's been it's too many colors and I can't afford the print unless I. And then again, getting back to whoever might want it won't be able to afford it unless you get some like cheap quality stuff. I used to do clothing, design clothing. I'll talk about it later. Conflict of interest will not allow me to talk about it at this moment. I designed a clothing company. I'm co-owner. It's kind of sitting in limbo here in California, and I learned a lot about clothing, making quality clothing, and putting out quality work at an affordable price. I just had some creative differences with my partner, and I love him to death, so I got to let him do what he has to do, and we'll figure it out.
The Magneto one is really awesome, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah.
I just love what you did with the turtles in the van, like how you did up the van with all the fucking
garbage truck,
graffiti on it and shit like that. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, so that truck was basically made for the Graph Lab. The Graph Lab is the initials are TGL, and for the show, it was it's a reference in graffiti is if you're a toy, you don't know how to paint. So the acronym is Toys Get Lost. So if you look at the truck, it's TGL, Toys Get Lost in the letters of the Ninja Turtles.
Are you inspired? Like I don't know anything about art, so this might be an ignorant question. But are you inspired by like indigenous art? Because some of them look a lot like some of the indigenous art I've seen. I never believed in God, but I did go through like a spiritual phase. My family's from South America.
Why you're coming on my show?
Thank you, sir. I was always intrigued by the art, just the artwork itself. Looking for something I kind of want to share with you. Just bear with me. So I did a here it is. I don't know if Neil can share this.
Hang on one second.
All right, no worries.
I'm just Jen Aldrich is texting me.
No, you take your time. So yeah, what I did is a clock of all the world's clocks. An Incan Aztec clock. I put a sundial on it, constellations. It's just like a kind of an expression of what that's 18
cool,
round.
dude.
Yeah, it's a 18-inch round wooden table. I found
That's a
that
table.
yeah, it's a 18 round tabletop. I was walking around in Home Depot and it was a round piece of wood tabletop, and it just stood out. I just the geometric
That's
shape stood out.
Badass.
It sat on top of my fridge for 2 years, and then the image popped up in my head, and I decided to put all the world's clock on it. If you put a stick right in the middle, it will work as a sundial with the numbers around it.
No way.
The dots are constellations of all of the horoscope. So yeah, it's the compass is at the bottom. It works. It's just a painting.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I took it home to New York, and as I was unwrapping it, my father looked at it and said, "Oh, this is real nice," and he kind of just walked away with it, and it's his. So, yeah, that's why I don't post it up. But when you get the painting, I said there's stickers in there, and they will have this image on it. You got a few of those stickers for me.
Cool. That's cool. I definitely want one of those fucking stickers one of these days.
But it's not so much indigenous. It's just I like the art. Like that's all hand drawn, and I did that because I just wanted to see the intricacy of it. Like what did it actually take to do this from scratch? It's quite interesting. It's
Beautiful.
It's dedication. It's real. It's really mind blowing. But yeah, I like painting everything. I like colors. I like using my imagination. I'm not afraid to just paint whatever it is.
Yeah, that's me. I can't even draw a stick figure. So
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I'm terrible.
That's amazing, dude.
Terrible at drawing. Period. I suck at it.
Like I've always said, if
I'm
I
not
had
that great at drawing, but like the only things I can draw are like 3D. Like that's for some reason the only thing I can draw good.
Yeah, if there was like a thing that I could learn, like magically learn, it would be drawing. I think
they have what's called art therapy, and then a lot of people with schizophrenia, they go into doing drawing for they go into drawing as a sign of doing therapy for their to visual.
Yeah.
We lost.
With the
the thing is, I can't do it for shit.
Some of the deafblind people I work with do that as well. They do art therapy, or they work with clay and stuff because it's you can feel it. It's
no.
If I can suggest watching.
No, sorry about that.
No. I'm sorry. I just wanted to suggest watching people paint. Like if you there's spray can art. Like people who do they use spray cans to do the sceneries, and they do them within minutes. Yeah, those are really quite therapeutic. Check out acrylic pours. They are very satisfying.
No, what I'm saying is that I can't do art therapy for shit.
Well, no, I'm offering a different type of art therapy where you don't have to perform the art, but you can definitely enjoy it being made, step by step, and it's virtual.
You guys have seen my forte into the art world the other day. I did this. It was meant for a reason, but we were talking about how if you go to parties and you fall asleep, you always end up somebody draws a dick on you. So I was like, yeah, and they usually look just like that. Like they draw it on your face somewhere when you pass out at a party.
But no, they have an entire genre of art that just comes from people with that disorder. That I think it's called psychedelic art. That just comes from that people with that disorder and art therapy and art therapy and so forth, and people just drawing out their hallucinations and shit. And part of it comes from 60s era drawing and people smoking marijuana and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, just writing some quick notes down because my memory sucks, and I always like to do a thank you after doing these streams to the people that were involved, so I don't want to forget. Yeah. Neil the 604 Picasso, yeah, tons of mice. What do we got here? Oh, yes, this is a good one too.
Oh yeah, I saw one.
That was inspired by that's the actual map he drew, like
Dodgers in the 25th and a half century.
So, he was like, how do you get to Planet X? And he made this idiotic map. I love it. It's like, that's the actual map he drew. Like, how do you get to Planet X? We're gonna go 3,000 light years to west and up and down. And he bounced around. And then Little Piggy comes out and he's like, well, why don't we just follow the letters until we get to Planet X?
Yeah.
Like,
classic shit.
Classic shit. Before Planet X intercepts Earth.
I'm going to blow up the Earth. That's Duck Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Cafe. How you doing, buddy? So this is all your stuff? Is that what we're looking at?
No, you don't have to. Hold on. Let me hold on.
Pick out a good one. Here I am just throwing random pictures up there.
Yeah.
Hey, Neil, careful. That one I'm naked in.
I'm trying to see the one I sent you. I can't find it.
Oh, well, what's this one here? Let's see what we got here.
You have it?
Ooh, trippy. I need that for my fucking
cool.
That's Alienware.
Wallpaper background because that looks very Alienware-like.
I have an Alienware.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's where it came from. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so you should have it.
No, I don't. I'd have to go looking for that one.
Yeah. Check in the screensavers.
Hey, John. John Hammond is joining it. Yeah, John. Drawing is what I do best. Mm. I like to draw too, but it's usually attention that I don't want. No, my cheap ass jokes. I will be right back. I can still hear you guys, so don't make fun of me. I'm going to go grab another brewski, so we'll be right back.
Yeah. He's like the only person I know that dumps his own stream to go get a brewski.
He left his whole quit the stream last time, and Mike took over.
He's like, hold my beer. I got to go get another one.
That's the stream last time, and Mikey took over. Yeah.
Say something about Tria's saying we should say something about Neil why he can't defend himself.
I'm right here. I can hear you. The glory of Bluetooth headphones.
I can't find your picture. This is a mural. Cool. It's a mural. It's about 12 feet high.
Wow,
I did it huge. In 18. This is Ganesh, and this is Angela from Image Comics, from Spawn. Yep. Yeah. So this is the last mural I did in 18. The whole wall was about it was a whole block, just an entire city block, and it was just me and a group of artists, and we just did
then we all got arrested.
Yeah, no, these were legal walls out here. It's very different now. It's not the way it used to be, where Well,
because people finally realize that it's artwork.
Right, and that's a whole other issue that kind of bothers me, but I'll get into it when we talk. Because graffiti is not. They've adopted it as an art form, but graffiti is not art. Graffiti is vandalism. Graffiti, there's no such thing as a graffiti artist. There are graffiti writers that go out and write their name on the wall. But those people that have been out there to risk their lives, have done illegal things to get their name on the wall, there's a culture there. There's a certain I forget what the word is. There's a code. There's a certain code that we have, and when you have somebody like Wangsky, I have no respect for him. That's not a graffiti writer. He might be some sort of muralist or street artist, but that's not graffiti. Graffiti should not ever be confused or disregarded and forgotten the fact that people have paid dues, people have died, to allow people to do this without harassment, because I would not have been able to do this growing up. Now I can. And I did this back in 18, and since then I haven't been able to get back. Like I suffer from arthritis and I can't do this shit anymore. But stuff like this would pay the bills. Like, this was great. Like, it's really
That's
popular.
fucking, dude, you've skills, man. That's all I can say. Some mad skills.
Here, let me see if I got another one for you. And then I did this. This is a whole pool I did out here in yeah, it's a pool.
Cool. Yellow submarine, dope.
Yeah. So that's the whole inside. Let me see if I get that's the zoom in picture. I guess that's the zoom out. I never got the I still got to get the picture of it full filled up. But yeah, I did a pool out here in California.
So I'm not trying to press the opinions too much, but those people who are for like Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, who are going out and are painting like the George Floyd pictures, or stuff on, you know, abandoned buildings with, you know, the murals of George Floyd and all that sort of stuff with the wings and, you know, the how should I say, the
murals,
the wings and the this and the that, and then showing them being like in heaven and all that sort of stuff, like, you know, and then given that the sort of things like what you were showing there, what do you have opinions on? What are your opinions on that?
See, as an artist, you perceive the world very, very differently than a lot of other people. Artists, in order for an artist to be an artist, their imagination has to be able to run wild. Okay, there's no restriction on it. The majority of artists have beliefs, or they wouldn't be artists. I can't stress that enough. When I see it, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because it's a depiction of what the world perceives it as. Okay, it gives comfort. My art is to give you comfort. If I am asked to draw God in all its fucking idiot glory, then I'm gonna do my best to do that. Like, I want to get to the Sistine Chapel. I want to see that shit. I want to look up and I want to see it. There's regardless of what you believe or not, the effort and time that you put into drawing a wing is far more than anything you believe in. It's an action that you are taking in. It's something that you are extending out from yourself and giving back to someone else to appreciate. So that's my point of view. I don't knock it. I would be somebody who'd draw it myself. I draw wings, I draw angels, I draw demons, I draw all sorts of crazy shit. It has nothing to do with what I accept to be true in life. But that's me. That's me. I have friends who are deep believers. Like they there's no doubt that, you know, there's a God. They know I do not believe in a God, but there's no animosity between us. There's never an argument about believing. It's just who you are. I have a big problem. I had a big problem in this community. I've been back and forth on it, and I'm kind of swaying back and forth on it again. I've been into philosophy my entire life. And I was a very strong advocate for saying, hey, if what you believe makes you a better person, then more power to you. But very recently, I have seen a very destructive way of thinking that goes against that ideology of saying, well, if what you believe makes you a better person, go right ahead. And I have a problem with it because if the more we keep sympathizing and empathizing for it, instead of actually addressing the problem and saying, hey, look, you know, one thing is believing and another thing is accepting what actually is. And that's a message that we have to start re-educating ourselves on instead of fighting, because I grew up in a world where it didn't matter There were no labels. It didn't matter whether you believed or you didn't. I went to Catholic school my whole life. I had a secular household, and it didn't matter on
They
the
still
street.
put you through Catholic school? That seems really bizarre to me.
Well, see, growing up in the city, it's either you go to public school and you run the risk of a harder life, a harder education. I went to private school. I was not indoctrinated by my teachers ever, and the education I got, I have a bit of an edge on my education versus my friends who went to public school.
Yeah, a lot of regions that's the case where Catholic schools outperform the public schools in the area.
Right, and in the district where I grew up,
there's a better option, I guess.
Yeah, so in New York City, it's a safer environment. It's more dedicated teachers. Things have changed. Things have drastically changed. I have friends and family that are in the part of the educational system, and they're like, "Yo, what the hell is this?" Like they introduced this secrecy of new math. Like I can't begin to tell you how much that makes my damn stomach churn.
Yeah.
So the things have changed drastically, and there's a lot of work to do because having that mentality that what you believe in is okay seems to have done damage, and it seems to be irreversible at this point. So I'm having a hard time trying to approach it in a way where it can be civil, but still, like, I don't hold my tongue. Like the moment you break that line and the moment you start implying or preaching or just, hey, look, this is how it has to be, it's over. Like I'm gonna disrespect you because you believe so, just shot with me. I grew up in a place where I respect you first.
Yeah.
Then you lose your respect for me. I grew up in the streets, so I have to respect you. I don't know what you're capable of, and then we'll carry on from there. I don't approach you by disrespecting you. You're my fellow human, and I need to respond to you.
I do that. I respond by disrespecting people.
Yeah.
Hello, Russ.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, frustrated. How are you?
Hey. Been busy today helping my. Do what?
I said, don't get him going.
Yeah, no, I've been busy
ahead,
today
Papa.
working at my aunt. Just been busy today working at my aunt and uncle's, trying to get it ready for the tropical storm plus hurricane that's about to be hitting this area.
Oh.
We're gonna have two of them.
Yeah,
Apparently
the
two of them are merging or some shit.
Yeah.
Well, are they merging? Because I know we have a tropical storm that is right now in the Gulf that's about to hit Texas here on Monday, but I don't know if that's the one that's supposed to be merging with the hurricane that's coming this way as well. Their projection is that it's not going to hit like my area. It'd be close, but not directly hitting us. But you never know because projections change, and they're both weak storms right now. So we're just trying to get it all down because my aunt and uncle just bought a house that they've moved down from Houston, and they're in the middle of gutting it and getting it all ready to be moved in and whatnot. But because of the rain that's about to hit, we gotta get it to where no water gets inside, so that way it stays dry for the sheetrockers to come in and put up the sheetrock.
Yeah, I'm in New Orleans, and the way that it seems here is that we're gonna get the eastern part of one storm and the western part of the other storm.
Yeah,
most likely at the same time, almost.
Yeah, because the one that's like by Mexico, that's on its way up the coast, coming towards us, is because I live over here by Galveston. It's going to hit us fairly, like I said, on Monday, and then the other storm's supposed to hit, but you never know where exactly that one's going to hit because it's still on its way in. And like I said, projections change.
Well, it's too bad, man. On the West Coast, we get sunny weather here.
Well, like I said in the Like I said in the chat, like I said in the chat, we coastliners down here in the Gulf, we don't really get too worried about weak storms. We just kind of get ready for the rain, and usually with weak storms, it's not too terribly bad, but it still can get pretty bad.
Sorry.
Wow. There was something.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go feed my dogs. But thanks for having me on, Neil.
Oh, the old gotta feed my dogs excuse.
I do have my feed my dogs.
Yeah. You know what? No, it's because of me. It's because of me, Cranium. Don't lie about
You
this.
always clear the room, Russ.
It is definitely not because of you. But you know what I noticed is that I wasn't subscribed to you, Neil. I don't know. I thought I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
I thought you were too.
I was. I thought for sure, but I just looked down and there's that big red button.
Subscribe button.
Push the shiny red button. You know you want it.
So I rectified that anyway. So
I'm gonna wait for your next video on neo-Nazi sort of stuff, whatever that is, when it comes out.
Thank you. Yeah, I think my next one is going to be about this video by Xander Hall, I think. Yeah, it was about using ableist language to try to entice right-wingers to listen to left-wingers, I guess, which I obviously disagree with. So you
disagree with Xander?
If you haven't seen it, go watch Cranium's irresponsible platforming video. Yeah. It's really good.
Like a genius.
Well, you probably have some disagreements with Vosh too, then, huh?
Like I said earlier, buy a fucking t-shirt too.
Yeah,
that helps.
I very rarely watch streams. The only reason why I watched the Xander Hall one was because it was Corbett. Yeah. They were talking about how they had this disagreement, so I was like, "Oh, I'll watch a little bit of that." And then it's just the beginning that I watched, and it was the part where they were like, "Well, it helps get right wingers over," but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm probably going to talk about that one, but that'll probably be my next video.
That's actually a good debate to actually have over. So, like, if you actually go into Xander Hall's stream and actually go into debate with him, or go into Bosch's thing and actually get into a debate with him, because he might be willing to actually get into a debate with you over it.
I'm sure he would, but I'm not that guy.
You're like me. I don't really debate that shit.
To me that's just like for that topic, anyways. It's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, but he's going to respond to you. If he sees the video gets a certain amount of views, he's probably going to make a response to you on stream himself.
Well, he won't be the first one that's ever done that to me. So
that would actually be something good to watch.
So. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to fight me about saying ableist slurs, I'm fine with that. You can.
And the thing is, if he does make a response to that video, that just means Critium has more content to make.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but the thing is that you can actually go and do a live debate with him on stream. In actual.
From what I've seen of, I haven't watched Vosh really, but from what I've seen of Xander Hall, it's not somebody that I'd want to talk with. Really, I mean,
either way,
I hear you.
I mean, I haven't watched enough to convincingly say that I'm just not a fan. Just from the little bit that I've seen, I'm just not a fan of that kind of content creator. But but anyways, thanks for having me on, Neil, and thanks to everybody.
My pleasure, bud. It's good to have you back on.
All right,
I'll have to do it again sometime.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Cheers.
Peace out. He was the first one to respond to my my call for people to come out. So I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I haven't had GC in a chat for a long time, so it'd be cool to have him.
Yeah, I like GC. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He totally is. We've had a little back and forth on Twitter because he's got that new house. And earlier, by the way, guys, if you look in the chat earlier, you'll see a link that Crazy Cat had put to my my thread on Twitter about the link for the GoFundMe, so you can help GC out on getting things done so he can have a new place to live, because he ended up getting booted from his old place because they sold it. So he does. They're working on this, and the goal for me anyway. Well, the goal that I'm going to put out there, or the challenge I'm going to put out there, I should say, is you should try and beat my my $50 donation if you can. And Faye, I'll send you a link. If you'd love to come in, I sent one to Dallas, but he just ignored me. But that's okay. But I'll send one to Faye.
Dallas Wade Wade ignored you.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dallas! Get your ass in
There you
here.
go, Faye.
Ignoring Neil.
Yeah.
My streams. Faye's always good to have in.
No, see,
I was.
yeah.
And also, Cranium also has his GoFundMe pinned on his Twitter as well, and other people have been sharing that love as well. So there you go. And Ian just posted it again.
I whenever I jumped into the live chat, I heard talks about graffiti art, and one of the things I wanted to add is when you're coming into Houston from the north side, there is on a bridge just a simple phrase, just be someone.
Yeah.
And it's been integral to Houston for so long that, and every time somebody goes over it and paints over it,
Hi, Faye.
the person who originally put that up there
Good for him.
ends up painting it back over.
I love that.
So it's always amazing. Yeah, it's so integral to Houston that I wish they would just stop painting over it, because it's like
that's what graffiti is. Okay, there's your difference. That's the difference. The whole point of graffiti is vandalizing.
That was lovely. You've been moderated, Tria.
But it's vandalism. It's turned into they've learned to appreciate it, but it is still a felony in certain states. It is still a hassle. You can't just go and destroy property. It doesn't look nice. But that's the whole point of graffiti. So it's a constant fight. It's the world's most ego-driven sport.
Yep.
You look at something like you said, be somebody, and I'm pretty sure you can see it from far away, which means it's a pretty big painting.
Well, actually, whenever you're driving up to it, it is you can't really see it from far away because the road curves.
Okay.
So, but as soon as you get over the curve, it's like right there. It's be someone, and I want to know who does it, but at the same time, I don't, because I don't want him to ever be revealed. So that way he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Well, when I was trying
anarchism and activism, it's lovely. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. That's the sport. I mean, if you look at certain spots, like we'll hang from areas, from bridges, from ledges, just to get a spot, just to be eccentric. A lot of us have died doing really crazy shit. There's a hit. Yeah. So it's as a graffiti writer, it's very, very dear to me, and it's something I did, still do.
Yeah. Well, when I was trying to talk about the George Floyd stuff,
No, sir.
I didn't mean to actually to say about the religious, pushing the religious side of thing. What I meant was that sometimes what happens is you have these minority groups, people that will die, will get killed by a police officer, get killed by this in such a way, and especially somebody like a police officer or whatever, in such a manner that it causes a massive uproar by a lot of people. And then you'll have graffiti artists like that who come out in a manner of paying homage or respect for them. They'll come out and they'll do like graffiti art on an abandoned building or something like that.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. Hold on. I need to stop you for 1 second, because the dialogue is important here. You keep saying graffiti artists and art. Graffiti is an art form. So graffiti has been accepted as an art form. It is not art. It is vandalism. So when you see random people writing whatever they want, BLM or whatever it is that means something to them, They are expressing they're expressing themselves through graffiti. They're vandalizing. They're not performing in art. They're not expressing an art form at that point. They're vandalizing. So there's a difference there. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they should tag everything up. They should put it in everybody's face.
But that's what I was saying. Like with those pictures of George Floyd, that depiction of George Floyd that they were tagging on buildings.
Okay.
That's what they were doing.
Okay.
They were expressing that George Floyd's depiction of that was.
Yes, that's why federal troopers is considered vandalism.
Yeah.
All right. Can we? Yeah, I was about to say, let's let Faye get a word in.
Yeah.
Please.
Like all over New York State, you have like a whole bunch of Christians who tend to do things like drink too much, die in a car accident on the side of the highway, and next thing you know, there's a cross and a wreath and all kinds of things. They have that, then they do the balloon release, and then they have the gravesite, right? And blah blah blah. But all I see is pollution.
Yes.
I'd rather have the fucking graffiti.
Yes.
Like don't do the balloon release. How many turtles have to die because their kid was drinking and driving?
Stop.
In order for us to work, we need to clean the area. We'll actually leave it clean. We won't leave it like full of shit.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean. I would rather have the graffiti than the wreath, the plastic cross, like a whole bunch of plastic flowers. Then they have their gravesite, and then they go back every year and release balloons because they're trying to send messages to God. It's really pathetic.
No, I agree.
I also want to say hi to Duke because Duke has not been in a chat in quite a long time.
I dropped out earlier. Can you guys hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I wanted to say I'm sorry I haven't been able to jump into any. I've worked every day almost since February between my two jobs.
Yep.
And so,
Not surprising.
They're closing my hospital.
Are you serious?
Why?
During a pandemic, pay attention.
That's fucking.
They're closing.
Brilliant.
So the company that I work for has a habit of moving into rural areas, buying the hospitals, and then not putting money back into them and milking them for what they can get, and then either selling them, closing them, or whatever. And they've more or less done that to the only indigent care hospital for about 8 counties.
Wow.
And it's
Do they realize
horrific.
the harm that's going to bring?
That's fucked up.
They don't care. The guy who runs my company, basically changed his bonus structure and the bonus structure of his board to bonus off of capital expenses cut instead of capital gains. So what he's basically done is he's basically most hospital companies, they'll put about 10% of earnings back into the hospital and research and whatever else. They put about 3%. And as a result, even though the company is hemorrhaging money left and right, he's still bonusing $8 million a year.
Ooh.
It's all about lining his own pockets. That's all it is.
Yeah, I've got. I'm actually going to start working pretty soon. I was talking with Faye about it, but I'm going to work on whenever this is my last weekend working at the hospital because they close next week. After that, I'll have some spare time, and I'm going to put together some research on it.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Duke. I'm laughing at Wonder Lady's response.
Hey, Duke, is your boss like one of those types of people that treats people just like numbers and stuff?
Well, the company I work for is huge, so like that guy doesn't even know my name.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like that guy doesn't know. Like I'll put it like this, man. The 2 largest nursing unions in the country lobbied to have him removed from the board for gross negligence.
Mm-hmm. There was, what was the article from? Like a year or 2 ago, where they wrote the thing, and it was actually quite disturbing. And then now, though, there is no press release about the hospital closing. It's just on the hospital thing, on their website. Like, you would think that the press would be all over this shit. And they've
it's super
already
hush
started.
hush.
They already started though mitigating patients at their hospitals, right?
Yeah,
Well,
we closed
I mean-
we closed our labor and delivery route floor down last week. So now we have to bus anybody having a baby an additional 45 minutes, or the baby has to be born in the ER or the ambulance or their car.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
you have to be
this
born
sounds like a
Sorry?
great great reason that
Oh,
the news people to get an anonymous call about how this stuff is happening.
But
Everybody knows what's going down. There are some articles that are written that are not getting any public. They're not getting any ground because another mitigating issue in the situation is that the hospital is also run by a state-run agency called the Lakeshore Hospital Authority Board, which should be funneling money into the hospital to keep it open because they don't create revenue. They collect revenue via taxes. County
Starting
revenue.
a robot on us, Duke.
Well, I hate to be petty, but maybe this is what people get when they get pregnant during a Trump presidency. Just saying.
I think that's just the hospital.
I'm just being a petty little witch. It doesn't mean I'm
yeah.
right.
Yeah, she likes to be petty from time
more
to
or
time.
less.
I'm
Yeah.
petty.
Why not?
I'm making comments about Jesus taking the wheel on dead
I know.
kids. I mean, come on.
Something.
I'm not nice. I don't know if anyone hasn't noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that has to do with corporations and bullshit that corporations have because, like, I remember working at a grocery store and they used to treat you like a number, and it was complete crap.
Yep, that's
because
right. Yeah.
they don't acknowledge human beings. Period.
Nope, they don't.
The interesting conundrum I've run into in this situation is that Lowe's has treated me 1,000 times better than the hospital.
Yeah, and this is the situation.
Like if I come in contact with someone with COVID, even if I'm not showing symptoms, and I go to Lowe's and I say and call the number, I get 14 days paid off, whether or not I get a negative result or not. They gave me for the entire COVID crisis, they gave me a $2 on the hour raise, temporary raise to work through that. Whereas the hospital gave me a backpack.
Well,
backpack.
Yeah,
a backpack.
Set to put all your.
Hey guy, I know that you're around people with COVID, and that you can possibly get infected. So here's a backpack for you to carry all the fucks that we don't get.
This is a.
I think Ian has to come in here and deal with this comment.
What was the comment?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
I'm not showing you again. You can't pay attention. That's your fucking fault.
No, I was gonna ask.
And then he runs away.
I was gonna ask Duke if they were more like libertarian leaning because the other day I was in a Discord channel with Miss Sassy and them, and we had some libertarians in there, and they were basically treating it like, oh, if you're disabled and so forth, they should have the right to fire you based on strictly on your disability and so forth, or they should have the right to like not hire you if you're disabled and so forth. And
why would you even talk to those people?
Completely like not even completely like not even. Yeah, I understand. They just got invited into the Discord thing. I don't understand. I wasn't even caring about for the whole situation. But the thing was is that they got invited in, and I would have. My situation is I would have just left immediately, but they got invited in, and I was like, this is a full shit situation because they were basically talking about 14th Amendment violations and basically believing that they had the right to actually violate the 14th Amendment.
Well, you know what's something I found to be funny about that? kind of thing is, and I'm not saying this is across the board,
Duke, hang
but
on.
I've dealt with people like, okay, sorry.
One quick second before you go on. I just want to ask Doc, are you still with us, Doc? Because I know you work graveyards.
Yeah,
and,
I'm here.
and you should get a nap in before you start work, no?
I'm off tonight, and I'm actually up unusually early, so...
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've just been hanging back
and be at work, being a zombie and shit, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no problem. I've just been hanging back and listening to everybody.
Fair enough. Carry on, Duke.
So yeah, one thing I've noticed, and I've run across this before, like I'll have somebody that be talking that kind of language, basically like right to work stuff. And then like an example I can think of is I was at when I used to install air conditioners, I was at the place that sold the air conditioners. And the guys in there were bitching that people could buy their air conditioners online for less money than they could buy them. And it was bullshit, and people shouldn't be allowed to undercut them. And I'm like, that's interesting. So when it comes to your money in your pocket, you think the government should be able to stepping in to make sure you're getting your piece. But when it comes to everybody else, they can go fuck themselves.
Exactly.
I love that shit. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing I feed off of.
It's basically like this. No, like if you got severe disability, they were basically saying that taking it on the extreme part of the disability without realizing that some of these disabilities are on an extreme or on a spectrum, and that some people on that spectrum are able to work in specific jobs, and then saying that that they shouldn't have to hire people anywhere on the spectrum because they can be hospitalized for any reason whatsoever and so forth, and then not taking the fact that you have to meet ADA regulatory statutes, et cetera, as the person with the disability, and at the same time,
people with disabilities need to be able to eat.
Huh? Yeah, if you're an employer, if the person meets ADA regulations, you have to hire them. And if you hire them, then the thing is their disability can't be qualified as a safety hazard for whatever reasons, but you cannot fire them based on disability. But the problem is so many people do fire them based on disability because the ADA is too weak on it.
Or they find trumped up reasons. They fire them for something that's not attached to the disability, but still trumped up bullshit.
Right. You can fire someone for any reason. You can basically they can even call it a personality conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, one thing about these libertarians, a lot of them that I've gotten into arguments with, and this is why I don't argue with them anymore, they're disabled. They're on services. They just want to deny it for everyone else.
A lot of them.
And the nice thing about it is, like, my auntie lives across the street from a libertarian, and she has a unique way of handling it. She's about 90 pounds. She looks like Mary Tyler Moore. She's very quiet spoken. And she throws a mean right hook.
Yeah.
Well, she will punch someone in the fucking face faster than a king cobra can strike. She's amazing. Tiny little arms, and she always hits her mark.
A lot of times, Faye, for me, libertarians end up being people who actually own businesses.
Well, here in Texas,
you can't. But that's the thing. I said people that I've spoken to who follow that because they're like, I don't want to give any money to the government. Well, they're already on services, so they have on their own parents are on services. They don't seem to understand how like Social Security works or how certain things work.
None of them do.
It's
Here
like
in-
they're the ones who actually want the free ride, and you have to wonder, people who sit there and go, "Oh, I don't want to pay taxes." Or basically, those are the people
Good
who are
luck.
bad dates. They're bad people to marry. They're bad people to fuck. They're just selfish little assholes, and you really don't want to have anything to do with them.
Well, the
yeah,
thing,
here
I guess,
All right,
Is
guys,
that
go.
like when oh sorry.
the thing is with most of these types of people is that they just completely outside of their own little social group is that they can't ever really expand as far as having a social group outside of it.
People don't travel.
They don't learn.
People don't travel. People should get out
Yeah.
as if they have the ability to do so. Get the fuck out. Meet
Yep.
people.
Hey, everyone but me, I don't want to.
No,
I'm
we
not
can
getting
call you. We can call you, and we have virtual chat.
Okay, good, because I've gotten a lot of virtual tours of things like libraries overseas, but I never want to fly, and I never want to travel.
Oh, shit.
No, So I used to have a real bad time flying, and now I fly all the time, and I didn't do anything but just convince myself nothing was going to happen, and nothing happens, and if it does, it does. So what?
Well, no, it's not about the plane going down. It's about breathing air with these people. Even
Oh.
before COVID, I have OCD. I don't like it.
Oh.
Germy, awful, ew.
Weird. I'm in here
Yeah.
twice.
Uh-huh. Germy, awful.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
you. I get
Yeah.
you. All right. No, I get you completely.
And I don't want bed bugs, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. Yeah, it's gross.
yeah.
I live a little more
You know,
house,
like-
but I totally get you. I don't want to leave my fucking house.
It's funny. The conversation we were just having made me think of that. Y'all saw that Ben Shapiro clip where he was like, "Oh, if grandma dies, it's a tragedy, but not quite so much a tragedy as my IRAs suffering from."
That's how Ben Shapiro always is, man.
Yeah, you broke up for me. I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I probably am breaking up, but Ben Shapiro did that piece where he was talking with Dave Rubin, where he was all like saying, "Well, we should open everything back up because most of the people dying are old, and if grandma dies, it's a tragedy, but she made it to 80, so."
Right.
Like the economy is more important than that. And it's like, oh yeah,
But children are
Tell
dying.
me how you're pro-life.
But children are dying.
That's the thing with their type of mindset is that they don't give a shit about people.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Children are dying.
They don't give a shit about people. All they give a shit about is money.
Yeah,
That's it.
you're a number, and if they can't make money off you, you're discarded.
That's all they give a shit about is you're a number.
All
That's it.
this proves is
Well-
that the system we had didn't work properly. Because honestly, pandemics have happened historically all through human existence, and we weren't ready
Yeah,
for
but
this.
it's not
Hello?
about the pandemic.
That's what I said.
They don't give a fuck about the pandemic. All they give a shit about is the fact that you're a number.
Yes.
And that
No,
you're-
you missed
making
my point,
money off.
sweetheart.
Kitty
You
caught a
missed my
bird.
point.
I'm surprised you got that much light out there. The sun's pretty much down over here.
He's on the other side.
Yeah,
of the
he's on the
country.
West Coast.
Yeah, so am I.
He's on the
I'm in
West
LA.
Coast.
I'm in LA.
I see, even when I was working at my grocery store, I even knew that at the grocery store. They don't give a fuck about their customers. They don't give a fuck about their employees. They don't give a fuck about anything. All they care about is the fucking money that rolls in the door. That's it.
Raise
So
see,
people who want the economy to open back up, it's not necessarily that you're a number. It's just that you can attribute to the economy by buying and selling goods and stuff like that. And so as long as the economy is up and going, it doesn't matter how many lives are lost. Children are dying. Otherwise, healthy adults are still dying as well. And so it's just it's
but that's because you're
it's
treated
sad to
bad.
see this.
Yeah, you're not treated as a human. You're treated as a number. What can this number do? It's useless. Fuck it.
Well, again, I think numbers thing is only usually done with companies as far as the people who want the economy to be open up. It's not numbers. It's not about necessarily that you're a number. It's just the fact that you are someone who can and will attribute to the economy. I don't necessarily think it's
Look,
numbers.
I'm in the middle of an appeal for my disability. You are not identified as a human. You're identified by your social security number, and that is what follows you throughout your lifetime. So when they go into seeing what it is that you've done and what it is that you can contribute back to society, that's what they go by. Because they went into my past and they went into shit that I was like, this is about my disability. Why are you bringing up shit that I did when I was 16? They don't give a shit. There's the inner workings of the system are built to work against you. So here you are, you're like, okay, you can't earn X amount, and if you can't earn X amount, then you can't live anywhere, but you have to live somewhere to get mail so that you can participate in the hearing. And then if you get any extra help from the government because you can't work because you're disabled, it's a strike against you because, now, that proves that you can do something. So that means you don't need our help. And once again, you're discarded. And then you're just left up to like, well, shit, what the fuck am I going to do? Do I have to go and kill somebody? Because you push me to a level where, look, I will not hold back. And if I have to take care of me and mine, I'm going to take care of me and mine. And if it means it's you, it's you. And that's what life is. But it's because we don't do anything to participate in making sure that people aren't pushed to this level. Living in the projects is a very, very different world.
So the thing is right now we're talking though about people like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro doesn't work for the government. Ben Shapiro doesn't work for any of that stuff. All Ben Shapiro sees is that you're someone who can attribute to the economy. That's what I'm saying. It's not when it comes to Ben Shapiro, you're not a number. You're just someone who can contribute to the economy.
No,
part of the problem is that we have put too much in corporations. We have basically handed our food production and everything else to be outsourced. So we depend on a very large infrastructure of shipping. There are some communities that they're not even allowed to grow vegetables in their front yard or even in their backyard because one, people will feed themselves that way, and two, it's a problem. But the thing is, around here, I can always go foraging if I need food. Not so much in an urban situation, but we let them. And still, like, it used to be that Walmart and Target and places with very big parking lots, homeless people would be able to either sleep in their cars or, and they're putting spikes on. They put spikes on telephone poles and stuff like that for pigeons. And now they're doing it for the homeless. And they're making sure that there's no place for a person to go to sleep. This is an industry also. There are nonprofits who are definitely not nonprofit who make money off of human misery. There is a profit to be held in homeless people.
Faye, I want to say something
like the Catholic Church.
Here in LA, the homeless population is just mind fucking blowing. It's just overwhelming. It's a business.
It is a business.
That's what we do here. So, for example, they go into one particular, area code, and they overwhelm, and you see tents everywhere, and they all gather, and it's just overwhelming. They're everywhere. The people start complaining. The city comes, and they hire couriers that come and round them up, and they have to pay for this, and they move them to another area code until it's time to move them again in another couple of months, and they just keep rotating them and making money off of them. And they don't help them. They don't create housing. They don't. They don't do fucking shit. Yeah. And the worst part is that the governor here will not. So the cops are not allowed to remove them off the sidewalk. They're allowed to just sit there and set up camp. And while where are they going to go? Instead of providing something, they're being left alone, and they're defecating on the street. They just had a typhoid outburst last year in City Hall because that's where they all gather. Yeah, they don't give a
I
fuck.
am totally familiar. Because of Hurricane Sandy, there were a lot of
I'm from New
houses
York.
that
I
went
was
down in New Jersey.
I was there. I'm from New York. I was there for Sandy. It was real fucking
Okay,
huge.
so in New Jersey, they all went into the
dated
Pine
someone named
Barrens
Sandy,
where
man.
the Pineys already were. I don't know if you know anything about the Pineys.
Yes.
Okay, so you get people who normally were living in houses putting up tents near Pineys.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that's gonna go down.
Yeah, it's just straight up.
People are disappearing.
Mhm.
And the thing is, it's been how long since Sandy, and there's still people living in the Pine Barrens. The government's not doing shit.
Nothing.
We can't even rebuild. Half of my neighborhood that I grew up in, I should say more than half, it's 75% of it is empty, and the houses are full of black mold because they were underwater.
And the worst part is that the majority of them didn't get fixed because they fucking scammed FEMA. And each house got like $250,000, and they scammed it, took the money, and didn't do shit with it. Or people
FEMA
got
only gave us loans. They didn't pay for anything.
I worked. So okay, it's not that they gave or paid for anything. There were grants being given out, and if you know how to work the system and you know how to file the paperwork, you got that money. So people got really slick on it, and they did so. And instead of actually paying out and doing the fixing and doing what they had to do, people got scammed. Yeah, and that's a real thing.
Yeah, well, half of my neighborhood.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Ian, I didn't see you. I just added you. I sort of been running back and forth.
You did.
I fucking spilled beer on my leg, and it looks like I
Neil,
peed myself. Again, yeah.
Hey Neil, if you want me to take over your show, I will turn this conversation towards titties immediately.
Of course you will.
I'm surprised you aren't already.
Oh, Duke, I have been keeping up with the titty sprinkles.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I
I just want to make sure I was
I
being
know
heard.
nothing about titties. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Duke.
Yeah.
Duke, I've been keeping up with the titty sprinkles after every show.
Yes, he has. That he's been a part of.
Awesome.
He has. He's definitely. He's
Awesome.
left with the
Yeah.
titty sprinkles
Faye-
comment on the way out.
Faye,
Yes.
Faye, if you're ever curious, I am practically a connoisseur of titties.
Yeah. There was something that I had.
Connoisseur of cities.
Yeah. There was,
Titties.
Clockwork's got it.
Titties.
Boobies.
Oh, titties. Sorry, I it kind of broke out on
Yeah.
my end. So what I heard was, I'm a connoisseur of cities, and I was like, what?
Wait,
Can
what?
someone be a connoisseur of cities?
yeah. Now, there was something I had on my mind from just a second ago that you guys were talking about. Basically, I don't mean to pull it too far back, but the thing was that as far as that sort of thing that you guys are talking about, the thing is that when you're on FFA, that counts as a negative to getting hired. When you're on
Hi, Aaron.
government assistance programs and stuff like that, that counts as a negative to getting hired. When they see you as getting certain things like treatment and stuff like that for disabilities, that counts as a negative to getting hired.
Correct.
All those things count as negative to getting hired. And the only thing that you have to, at least as a defense for trying to get hired, is the Americans with Disabilities Act. And that is extremely weak in trying to getting you a chance to getting hired, because they can come up with anything under the sun for not wanting to hire you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
This is fucking phenomenal that I can actually do this shit from my phone.
You can still see your dad.
I love idiots.
I
love
just listen.
idiots comment.
I want to put it out there that if everybody doesn't stop misspelling titties, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. It's TIDDIES. Thank you. There's no T's in it. There's D's. Thank you.
So you're saying it's
cup size
So
reference?
you're
Or?
saying
There's
that
a
you're
double D
only
in it.
into double D's. Okay.
Exactly what I was thinking.
No. Listen, variety is the spice of life, eh? Variety is the spice of life.
All right. So then, hey, all right. I got a question, guys. Just in general.
Screw you, Duke.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy with either candidate, but right now we got to get fucking scumbag out, right?
I'm with you, baby.
Okay, so the
If I may just jump in there a second, Easium. Something that's put forward to me today is if Democrats win this time by a massive landslide, that means that there's going to be a collapse of the Republican Party.
Yes.
At that point, in 2024, there's going to be more viable options. So,
well, we can
hope. Is it worth playing the long game and going with the lesser of two evils this time and getting something better next time?
I will not accept another 4 years of my man. It's just not happening. President, I think I have a good brain. It's just not going to make it for me.
Oh yeah.
I am more than willing to vote and get him out, right? Massively, because that's what's going to get him out. And then focus on staying united with a plan to change things and not let them sleep. I mean, everybody's like, well, what the hell are we going to do? Get fucking involved. Do something. Be a
those
part.
jet streams.
So if we don't do that,
but
go in 4 years, yes, what the scenario that you just presented, are we going to play the long game? Yeah, we can play the long game, but we fight battles every day. We don't stop conversations and getting upset and getting riled up because guess what? It's not over.
Though that's what a lot of people seem to forget about democracy. Yeah, it's not just a case of what you do on the day you vote. You've also got to keep pressure upon your representatives, senators, president, whatever the case may be.
I think the biggest problem right now America has is this.
Microwaves. What's wrong with microwaves?
They're taking away. Donald Trump is trying to suppress mail-in voting, and almost half of the Democratic Party is going to probably be trying to vote through mail-in voting. And there's a possibility of a large sum of the Democratic Party that might be doing mail-in voting. And
sorry to hear, Wizard.
That could
but the post office got funding today.
Huh?
The post office got the funding today.
Well, there's something else that we're also ignoring. There's something else that we're ignoring because where these post offices and post boxes have been removed, there's people springing up in these areas that are finding other ingenious ways of getting people to the voting booth, or actually setting up a courier system where there's tracking of the postal votes. So if your local post box, for example, has been removed, there's people that are coming and actually sealing these ballots up and then taking them to an area where there is adequate sorting facilities.
Yeah, but the problem is,
could I jump in for a second?
Sure.
Sorry.
Hurry up, Duke.
So just taking it back a couple of seconds. We were talking about the problems with getting not liking either of the candidates, but voting for Biden because it's the better choice in this time period, and I agree with that. But I think that moving forward, we as constituencies have to place an enormous amount of pressure on the DNC to not just arbitrarily fucking make decisions outside of what the actual constituency wants,
like they did the first time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
like they've done every fucking time, pretty much.
But the thing is, the problem with the post office isn't just voting; it's where poor people go with money orders. Yep. It is essential for people to get their medications, for the VA, for this, that, and the other thing. Is the cheapest money order, by the way, around. There's so much that goes through the post office. It's not even funny. If they mess with the mail, they deserve everything they get, and I think there's going to be a lot of class action suits.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Hey, Wizard Pope.
Neil, could you share a screen from where you are or no?
Ooh, possibly.
Don't know
Let
where
me
to
check
find
and see.
out.
Because I got a speeding ticket, and I have to go through a lawyer because I can't trust the mail right now.
well, like this scenario that I'm in, basically, because I'm trying to fight to find a place to move out, and the thing is that if I were to move out,